My wife said, "My soulmate from college is in town, so I'm staying at his hotel to see if the spark is still there." I said, "Follow your heart." I served her with divorce papers at the hotel the next morning. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Hey Reddit, buckle up because this one's a wild ride. I'm still processing what happened, but I need to get this off my chest. It's been a year since my world turned upside down, and the way it went down still feels like a bad movie. I'm 35. Let's call me Alex. And my ex-wife, Sarah, is 34. We were married for 8 years, together for 10. I thought we were solid until she dropped a bombshell so outrageous I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Here's how it all started, and trust me, it gets worse before it gets better. I've always been the dependable guy. Not flashy, not chasing clout, just steady. When I met Sarah at 25, I was smitten. She was vibrant, ambitious, the kind of woman who lit up a room. We met at a friend's barbecue in our mid-sized city, bonding over bad karaoke and her obsession with spicy wings. I fell hard, and she seemed to feel the same. We built a life together. Apartment, dog, shared Netflix queue, the works. I was all in. When Sarah got a job offer 2 states away early in our marriage, I didn't hesitate. I left my stable marketing gig to follow her, taking a lower-paying remote role so she could chase her dream as a PR manager. I handled most of the household stuff, cooking, cleaning, making sure our rescue mutter got his walks. She'd come home stressed and I'd have dinner ready, listening to her vent about her boss or clients. I wasn't perfect, but I showed up every day, loyal to a fault. There were sacrifices. I turned down a promotion that would have meant moving again because Sarah was finally settled in her career. I skipped guys' trips to be there for her company events, playing the supportive husband. Once I spent weeks planning a surprise trip to the coast for our 5th anniversary, recreating our first date down to the playlist. She cried when we got there, said it was the sweetest thing anyone had ever done. I thought that was us. Ride or die. Looking back, there were cracks I ignored. Sarah started getting distant about 2 years ago. She'd scroll her phone during dinner, laughing at messages she wouldn't share. She'd mention her college days more, dropping names of old friends I'd never met. I chalked it up to stress. Her job was demanding and I didn't want to nag. Maybe I was naive, but I trusted her. I believed in us. That's what makes what happened next so infuriating. Last spring, things got weird. Sarah started working late, claiming big projects. She'd come home smelling faintly of cologne, not mine, and brush it off as someone in the office. I'd ask how her day was, and she'd snap, "Can we not talk about work for once?" I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Still, I didn't push. I figured she needed space, and I loved her enough to give it. Then came the social media. Sarah got obsessed with posting selfies at bars, cryptic captions like "living my truth" or "chasing old sparks." She'd tag friends I didn't know, including this guy, Mark, her college bestie. I'd seen his name in old photos, heard stories about their wild days at university. She'd laugh about how they were inseparable back then, but I never thought much of it. Exes are exes, right? I trusted her judgment. One night, I found her crying in the bathroom, phone in hand. I asked what was wrong, and she said, "Nothing. Just feeling nostalgic." I held her, told her we could plan a fun weekend to lift her spirits. She nodded, but didn't look at me. That moment haunts me now. Not because I blame myself, but because I see how blind I was. She wasn't crying for us. She was crying for a fantasy I didn't know I was competing with. The final straw came in May. Sarah got a text during dinner, and her face lit up in a way I hadn't seen in months. She started typing furiously, giggling, then caught me watching. "It's just Mark," she said, casual as anything. "He's in town for work, staying at a hotel downtown. I might grab drinks with him to catch up." My gut twisted, but I didn't want to be that guy. The jealous husband. I said, "Cool. Tell him I said hi." She didn't reply, just kept typing. Over the next week, she was glued to her phone. She'd leave the room to take calls, whispering. She bought a new dress, started wearing makeup again. Things she hadn't done for our date nights in ages. I asked if everything was okay, and she rolled her eyes. "Alex, stop smothering me. I'm just reconnecting with an old friend." That word, smothering, cut deep. I'd given her everything, rearranged my life for her, and now I was the one crowding her. I sat with that for days, replaying every moment I'd overlooked. The late nights, the secrecy, the way she'd compare my safe job to her exciting career. I wasn't sleeping, but I still didn't confront her. I wanted to believe I was wrong, that she'd never crossed that line. Then came the Friday that broke me. She walked into our kitchen, suitcase in hand, and dropped the bomb that changed everything. It was a Friday evening, the kind where the city buzzes with weekend energy outside our apartment windows. I'd just finished making pasta, her favorite, with extra garlic because that's how she liked it. Baxter was snoozing on the couch, and I was pouring wine, thinking maybe this would be the night we reconnected. Sarah walked in from the bedroom, dressed up in that new dress, makeup flawless, suitcase rolling behind her. She set it by the door and sat at the table like nothing was off. I plated the food, sat down, and smiled. "You look great. Big plans tonight?" She poked at her pasta, not eating. Then she looked up, her eyes cold, like she'd rehearsed this. "Alex, we need to talk. Mark's in town, like I mentioned. My soulmate from college, remember? The one who got away because timing was wrong. Well, he's staying at a hotel downtown, and I'm going there tonight to stay with him, to see if the spark is still there." I froze, fork halfway to my mouth. The words hung in the air. Absurd. Like a punchline to a joke I wasn't in on. "What do you mean? See if the spark is still there?" She leaned back, crossing her arms, that smug smile creeping in. The one she used when she thought she was being profound. "Come on, Alex. We've been married 8 years, but lately it's stale. You're always so predictable. Work from home, dinner ready, walking the dog. It's sweet, but I need more." Mark and I had this connection back then. Real passion, adventure. He's successful now, travels the world. I owe it to myself to explore if that's what I've been missing. If the spark's gone with us, maybe it's still alive with him. I set my fork down, heart pounding, but I kept my voice steady. "So you're saying you're going to his hotel to what? Sleep with him? Test the waters while we're still married?" She rolled her eyes like I was being dramatic. "Don't make it sound so sleazy. It's not cheating if I'm honest about it. This is about my happiness, my growth. You've always said you want me to be happy, right? Well, this is me following my heart. If it works out with Mark, we can figure out the rest later. If not, I'll come back and we'll pretend it never happened. It's not like I'm leaving you forever. Just giving us space to see what's real." Her logic twisted like a knife. She made it sound reasonable, like I should nod along and wish her luck on her little affair, dismissing our vows as stale. Smug about her growth, while I'd bent over backward for her. It was cruel, entitled, like I was just a placeholder until something better showed up. I looked at her, really looked, and felt the confusion hit, the unfairness of it all. But I didn't yell, didn't beg. "Follow your heart," I said calmly, standing up. "I'll take Baxter for a walk." She blinked, surprised I didn't fight. "That's it? You're not going to stop me?" I grabbed the leash. "No, Safe travels. She huffed, grabbed her suitcase, and left without another word. The door clicked shut, and the apartment went silent. I served her divorce papers at the hotel the next morning. Had a process server do it while she was probably still in his bed. No scene, no note. Just the end. That night, after she left, I didn't break down. I walked Baxter around the block, the city lights blurring as my mind raced. How had it come to this? I'd given up so much. Friends I'd lost touch with because we moved for her job. Hobbies like hiking that I shelved to make time for her. Flashback to our wedding. Her vows about forever. My promise to always support her dreams. Now those words felt like lies, and I was left holding the pieces. I got home, poured out the uneaten pasta, and sat on the couch. Baxter curled up next to me, sensing something was wrong. I stared at the wall, letting the betrayal sink in. The confusion was the worst. Replaying her words, wondering if I really was predictable. If I'd missed signs that she saw me as a backup. It hurt deep and raw, like a punch to the gut that lingers. But I didn't call her. Didn't text begging her to come back. Instead, I called my brother at midnight. "She's what?" he said, voice incredulous. "At a hotel with her ex? That's insane, man. What are you going to do?" "End it," I replied cleanly. By 2 a.m., I'd emailed a lawyer friend. Kept it brief, factual, no ranting about her cruelty. He got back fast. "We can file emergency papers. You want to serve her tomorrow?" "Yes," I said. No hesitation. The next morning, I woke up early, packed a bag for Baxter, and drove to a friend's place across town. I didn't want to be home when reality hit her. The process server called at 10 a.m. Delivered. She looked shocked. Started yelling. I nodded to myself, detached. No satisfaction yet. Just a quiet resolve. I spent the day reorganizing my life. Changed locks, canceled joint cards, transferred money to my account. Practical steps, one by one. It felt like shedding dead weight. The silence stretched over the next weeks. I didn't reach out, didn't stalk her social. I sat with the unfairness. Nights alone, questioning everything. Why me? Why? After all I'd done. But slowly, the confusion cleared. I started running again. Took that promotion I'd turned down before. Relocated to a satellite office in the suburbs for a fresh start. Baxter and I settled into a routine, and for the first time in years, I felt the weight lift. I wasn't begging for scraps. I was building boundaries. Dignity in the detachment. Little did I know, her world was about to crumble. It took about a month for the cracks to show. Mutual friends started texting, hesitant at first, then spilling. Apparently, Sarah posted a vague status about new beginnings, but it backfired when people pieced it together. One friend, Lisa, called me. "Alex, I hate to say this, but Mark's not who she thinks." I looked him up. He's married with a kid, and from what I hear, he's got a reputation for this stuff. I didn't probe, but the details trickled in. Mark wasn't the successful traveler she'd painted. He was a mid-level sales guy with a history of flings, using company trips to hook up. Sarah had jumped in head first, thinking it was fate, but he turned controlling fast. Jealous rants, isolating her from friends. She'd quit her job impulsively, claiming she needed time to explore. But really it was because her boss found out about the affair and demoted her for sloppy work during the distraction. Then, the implosion. Mark's wife discovered the hotel receipts, confronted him. He threw Sarah under the bus, called her a crazy ex who'd stalked him, dumped her via text. This was fun, but my family's my priority. Lose my number. She was left in a cheap motel. Broke from blowing savings on spontaneity trips with him. Her reputation tanked. Co-workers gossiped. Mutual friends distanced themselves after seeing her hypocritical posts about honesty while she'd lied to everyone. Isolation hit next. She tried leaning on her family, but even they soured. Her sister, who I'd always found pushy, admitted later that Sarah had spun tales about me being boring and controlling to justify it. But when the truth surfaced, texts she sent bragging about Mark, friends stopped defending her. One by one, they unfollowed, left group chats. She ended up alone, jobless, crashing on a cousin's couch. Her growth adventure reduced to ramen and regret. I heard bits through the grapevine, but I stayed out of it. No gloating, no involvement. It was ironic. She discarded me like yesterday's news, chasing a fake spark, only to get burned and left in the dark. Her unraveling felt earned, not vengeful. Meanwhile, I was piecing myself back together, unaware she'd soon come crawling back, desperate and showing her true colors. About 2 months after the divorce papers, the reaches started. At first, it was subtle. A text at midnight. "Alex, can we talk? I think I made a huge mistake." I read it, felt nothing but a faint echo of the old hurt, and deleted it. No response. That was my new rule. She didn't get access anymore. But Sarah wasn't one to back down. The next day, voicemails piled up. I listened to the first one out of curiosity. "Hey, it's me, Mark. It didn't work out. He wasn't who I thought. I realize now how good we had it. Please call me back. I miss Baxter too." Her voice cracked a bit, but there was that underlying smugness, like she expected me to jump at the chance. I hit delete. Then her family got involved. Toxic as ever. Her sister Emily called from a number I didn't recognize. "Alex, this is ridiculous. Sarah's going through a rough time and you're just ignoring her. She told me everything. You were too boring. But now she's sorry. Family sticks together. You owe her a conversation at least." Oh, her. After she'd thrown our marriage away like trash, I stayed calm. "Emily, this isn't your business. Tell Sarah to handle her own messes." I hung up, blocked the number. Sarah escalated. A week later, she showed up at my new apartment unannounced. Must have gotten the address from a mutual friend before they cut her off. I opened the door. Baxter barking behind me. She looked rough. Hair messy, eyes red, carrying a box of my old stuff like a peace offering. "Alex, please let me in. I need to explain." I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "There's nothing to explain, Sarah." She pushed forward, voice rising. "Yes, there is. Mark was a jerk. He lied about everything, left me high and dry. I'm staying with my cousin now, scraping by on freelance gigs. But you were always there, stable. I see that now. We can fix this. I'll go to counseling, whatever you want. Don't throw us away over one mistake." "One mistake," I echoed flatly, not moving. "You called it exploring your heart. Said our life was stale. You chose him." Tears started, but they turned to anger quick. "God, you're so cold." I was confused, okay? Everyone makes errors. My mom thinks you're being petty, says a real man would forgive. Come on, Alex. Don't make me beg. She stepped closer, reaching for my arm. I still love you. Doesn't that count? I stepped back. It doesn't. Not anymore. I closed the door gently. Locked it. Her knocks echoed down the hall, turning to shouts. Fine. Be alone then. You'll regret this. You're nothing without me. True colors shining through just like that. The attempts kept coming. Emails pleading for closure. Friends she roped in who awkwardly texted, then apologized when I filled them in. One last call from her mom. She's falling apart because of you. Have some compassion. I replied she did this to herself and blocked them all. Her desperation peaked, but I stayed detached. It was almost sad how she'd unraveled. but not my problem. 6 months post-divorce, I got an invite to our mutual friend Lisa's wedding. I debated going. Knew Sarah might be there, but I'd moved on. New job title, new routines. Even started dating casually. A woman named Mia, kind and grounded. Nothing like the drama. I decided to show up. Baxter's safe at a sitter. The venue was a garden spot outside the city. String lights twinkling as guests mingled. I was chatting with old friends when I spotted Sarah across the lawn. She looked thinner. Forced smile. Alone at a table. Our eyes met. She beelined over, clutching a glass like a lifeline. "Alex," she said, voice low but urgent. "Didn't expect to see you here. You look good. Can we talk privately?" I glanced around. People watching subtly. "Here is fine." "What do you want, Sarah?" She fidgeted, glancing at my suit. The easy way I held myself. "I heard about your promotion. Congrats." "Look, I've been thinking. That night, I was stupid, chasing a fantasy. Mark was abusive, controlling, threw me out when his wife found out. I'm in therapy now, trying to fix myself. But I miss what we had. You were my real soulmate. Give me another chance." Her words mirrored her old hypocrisy. Now I was the soulmate. I kept my tone even, reflecting it back like a mirror. "You said you needed to follow your heart. See if the spark was there." "Sounds like you did." Her face flushed. "It wasn't real. Please, Alex, I'm sorry. I see now how I hurt you." I shook my head. Realist mode kicking in. Apologies don't rewrite history. I've built a new life, one without the games, the comparisons. That chapter's closed. You're irrelevant to it now. Her face crumpled, desperation flipping to anger. Irrelevant after 8 years? You're heartless. Look at you, all upgraded, new job, probably a new girl too. Mia, right? I saw her pic on your profile. Bet she's boring like you. I spotted Mia arriving then. Waving from afar. Warm. Genuine. The contrast hit hard. Actually, she's everything I needed. Stable doesn't mean stale. It means real. Goodbye, Sarah. I walked away. Joined Mia. Left her standing there. She didn't follow. Later, Lisa told me Sarah left early, muttering excuses. The power had flipped. She desperate, me thriving. It felt complete. A year out and life's clearer than ever. The divorce finalized clean. I kept Baxter. The apartment sold for a fair split. My internal voice shifted from that initial vulnerability, questioning if I was enough, to this calm freedom I learned from her. Don't sacrifice yourself for someone who sees you as a stepping stone. Now I run marathons. Travel on my terms, and Mia. We're taking it slow, but it's honest. No sparks to chase, just steady build. Sarah faded to a footnote. Last I heard, she's bouncing jobs. Still single. Friends sparse. I don't wish her ill. Karma handled that. She's powerless in my story now. Irrelevant to my happiness. If you're reading this, trust your gut. Walk away with dignity. The reversal comes on its own. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.